Ministry of Finance begins budget consultations. Details to this story and more in the National Report. With the National Report, I am Rakisha St. Louis. As government focuses attention on structural reforms to boost growth, the Ministry of Finance has begun the consultation process in preparation for the 2018 budget cycle. Discussions have already been held with civil society organizations and churches, and over the next 2 weeks, there will be meetings with trade unions, financial institutions, private sector organizations, agricultural organizations, farmers, fisherfolks, and youth organizations. A consultation would also be held in the Sister Isle for the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Government's focus will also be on competitiveness and employment, strategic and targeted investment to promote sustainable development, continued fiscal discipline in a manner that is consistent with the sustainable growth and employment objectives, continued support in healthcare delivery and the agriculture and fisheries sectors to boost investment in domestic production and export are of paramount importance. Youth and small business development are critical aspects of the focus in 2018, as well as low-cost housing and strengthening safety net programs to protect the poor and vulnerable. Another first for Grenada, as the T.A. Marichaud Community College is designated the Regional Pilot Training Center for Flammable Refrigerants. It was officially launched at the close of a week-long Train the Trainers workshop. With certification prepared by the European Community, it means that the participants from Grenada, the Bahamas, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Suriname are now internationally certified. This means that they can go to any country in Europe and other parts of the world where the certification is recognized and practice without restriction. And they are also the first technicians in the region to receive this level of certification. Mrs. Ozunumi Iti, who represents the organization, says there is need for appropriate technology that works with the refrigerants and skilled people to work with the refrigerants.
So this was the reason why we came up with this project, to help this region be ready for the influx of flammable refrigerants, especially as most of the alternatives that exist now for ozone depleting substances, which also do not affect the climate negatively, have high flammability. So this is a very, very important project for this region.
TAMCC representative Mrs. Marlene Finley says the institution is all about providing accessible quality education and training, and so TAMCC embraces the opportunity to foster partnerships with its stakeholders.
We are honored to be designated as the Regional Pilot Training Center for Flammable Refrigerants, and we pledge our commitment to playing our role in the achievement of the Montreal Protocol and the creation of a safer environment.
This is the National Report. More news after the break.
The Aedes aegypti mosquito spreads the dengue, chikungunya, and Zika viruses. It only needs a small amount of water to breed. Check for stagnant water regularly. Buckets including the rim should be drained and kept dried. Avoid using flower pot plates, but if you do, ensure they're emptied every 2 days. Get rid of water that settles in potted plants. Dish rack trays should be emptied daily. If your pipe leaks, throw away the collected water and rectify the leakage promptly. Mosquitoes also breed around the roots of plants. Change the water, rinse the roots, and scrub the vase to remove mosquito eggs daily. Remember, by destroying mosquito breeding sites, we can prevent dengue, chikungunya, and Zika. A message from the Ministry of Health and Huggins.
Students of the Uganda Martyrs Roman Catholic School, formerly known as the Happy Hill RC School, are in for a surprise when school reopens next Monday. The school now has a new information technology lab outfitted with 20 desktop computers, printers, and internet service. This project was made possible through a donation by Dr. Heather Douglas, founder of GrenVet, a non-profit organization in the United States.
GrenVet was actually a project from my master's program. And I wanted to do some veterinary work for people who possibly couldn't afford it in the north of the island. And that's where it came from. But I happened to visit one of the schools here when we first launched the program, and my dad's a programmer, and I saw that they didn't have computers that were updated. So we launched one and did one as a pilot program in St. David, and then we saw that they were in need here as well. So we raised money over about 12 months, and we were able to organize everything. In the hospital, I have a hospital in the US in Minnesota. So we had everything delivered, we programmed everything, and then we came all the way down here, and we were able to set it up pretty quickly. We're getting pretty good at this. So there's a little bit of a line starting to have these put in, but we do want to give back and give kids the opportunity to have the technology that I see kids having in the States.
During the handover ceremony on Saturday, Prime Minister Dr. The Right Honorable Keith Mitchell highlighted the importance of young minds taking advantage of technology.
Use it effectively for information, for advancing your education, but at the same time, do not give up the other things. Don't treat it as a toy. Don't treat it as something just to play with, but recognize its value for your own development and your success as a student, and of course, as a young men and women that will be, in fact, managing this country in the years to come.
Principal of the institution, Kevin Francis, says the donation is a prayer that has been answered. He gave the assurance that the students will make the best of the equipment to improve their knowledge in information technology.
We are very grateful today that our students would become more technologically advanced and able to move up the ladder in one way or another. We all know that technology plays a critical role in the teaching and learning process, especially in the formative years of our students here at Uganda Matters Catholic School. And so, we are very much concerned about the all-around development of our students.
The probation unit in the Ministry of Social Development and Housing has deemed its 5-week summer program a success. The unit is now looking forward to further develop the program to make it an annual venture. The closing ceremony was held on Friday at the MacDonald College in St. Patrick. Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Social Development and Housing, Delroy Louison, attended and filed this report.
The program was introduced at the MacDonald College in St. Patrick on July 26 and took the form of a workshop where interactive sessions were held. Topics ranging from self-esteem, the importance of education, hygiene, sexuality, conflict management and effective communication among others were discussed with young people from different schools in the parish. According to Frances McLean, probation officer for the St. Patrick District and main organizer of the summer program, apart from challenges experienced, the information was well received by the young minds.
There was relatively good response from most of the students. We have met with some few challenges, but it was anticipated, as you know, the age group that was targeted, juveniles or children between grade 4 to whatever form in secondary school. So we know the age and the challenges. So mentally we were prepared for it, but of course we were faced with behavioral issues. But again, it helped us to know the next program, or if we should alter the program a bit, and what other lessons we should target, because we see the needs of the children.
A few of the young participants expressed pleasure in the initiative.
I learned how to make different stuff and behave well. I learned decision making, crafts, and self-esteem.
I learned that to change your life and to be a better person.
Acting Chief Social Development Officer Mrs. Chrissy Worm-Charles urged the participants to use what they've learned to improve their individual lives.
I know that this program would have taught you a lot for this week, okay, and the skills and so forth that you would have gained from these experiences. We know that is going to be life-changing, okay? What you've learned today, we're hoping that you are going to be using it in your life, with your peers, as you go back to school, as you interact with persons in your community, as you interact with your parents. Okay?
During the 5-week training, the young ones also indulged in art and craft. in which many local items were created. The probation unit says this will be made an annual venture. For the National Report, I am Delroy Lozan.
And that's the National Report. I am Rakisha St. Louis.